Great new day to all my self-care family and friends. Welcome back to the Room2Breathe Podcast. I'm your host, Life Coach 614, and I'm so glad that you are here with us today. Now, before we dive into today's episode, just a quick reminder. If you're enjoying the vibe, go ahead and tap the screen, like, comment, and share this episode. Your support helps us to reach more amazing people on their healing journey. And if you haven't already done so, do yourself a favor. Give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss what's coming next. I also invite you to head over to our website at theselfcareclub.org. We've got some awesome affirmative apparel, motivational merch, and a bunch of free resources to support you wherever you are on your journey. Just know that you're not alone. We're in this together, growing and healing one breath at a time. If something speaks to your heart today, be sure to drop a green heart in the chat. It's our way of saying, I'm healing, I'm growing, and I'm showing up for me. Now, let's get ready to breathe, reflect, and grow together. Today, I thought it would be fitting on this lovely, beautiful Juneteenth day to talk about being free-ish. And when I say free-ish, I'm talking about emotionally free-ish, right? In 2025, we think we are free. We look back at our past and we think that things have gotten so much better, right? But when you are the minority in the community that recognizes that there's still so much change to happen, you realize that you are simply free-ish, right? That we are still asking permission to feel, right? Permission to just be who we are unapologetically. And so in this moment, hey, Miss Sherry girl, in this moment, I just want to have a conversation from one Black woman to another. And this is just going to be like a raw, I guess, moment of transparency rooted in love. So listen, y'all, pull up a chair and allow me to be honest with you. No filters, no masks, no need for perfection. There have been days, maybe even weeks, months, hell, years probably, right? When I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize the woman that was staring back at me. Not because she wasn't beautiful or strong, but because she was exhausted from carrying the weight of the world on her back. Still pretending like I have it all together, right? Looking at the reflection of a woman who was tired of feeling like she had to be everything to everyone while barely being something for herself. But just like many of you, I've smiled through the pain that felt too heavy to carry. I've lifted others even when my own soul was breaking underneath. I've shown up fully for people around me, even when I was barely showing up for myself. And I've silenced my own cries, convinced that my tears would be seen as a sign of weakness instead of my truth. I've worn resilience like armor, thinking that was the only way that I would be able to survive this world, especially as a Black woman. But somewhere along the line, I feel like I just lost sight of what it is to be soft, to be vulnerable, to be human. And I know I'm not alone in this because so many of us grew up in homes where crying was met with don't be weak, right? Where anger was punished or ignored, where joy was fleeting and pain was the only constant that many of us knew. We learned that feelings were liabilities, not gifts. But here's what I want you to hear today, from my heart to yours. You do not have to sacrifice your soul to be worthy of love. You do not have to shrink down to make space for others. You do not have to hide your tears to prove your strength. And you certainly do not have to carry everyone else's burdens while you ignore your own healing. See, sis, you have a choice now, right? One that our grandmothers, our mothers, our sisters before us didn't always get to make. You have the power to say, I am enough, just as I am. You have the right to take up space in this world with all of your softness and your fire. You have permission to be loud, to be quiet, to be messy, to be whole. I want you to know that it's okay to be tired. It's okay to need rest. It is okay to feel broken sometimes, because healing isn't about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself when no one else does. And when you do that, when you give yourself grace instead of judgment, something miraculous happens, right? You begin to reclaim your power. You begin to rewrite your story. You begin to heal, not just for you, but for the generations that will come after you. Remember, our history is her story. So if you're feeling lost, overwhelmed, or unseen today, I want you to know this. I see you. I honor your journey. I am proud of how far you've come. Even on the days you feel like you're barely standing there. I want you to take time with yourself. I want you to take up all the space you need to breathe, to grieve, to laugh, to love. And above all, I want you to keep choosing you, because your life, your voice, your healing matters deeply. We're not just survivors. Okay, ladies, we're not just fighters. We are healers. We are visionaries. We are creators. Most importantly, we are queens. And sis, you, yes, you deserve nothing less than wholeness. You deserve freedom in every sense of the word. Free from shame, free from silence, free to feel all of who you are. You deserve room to breathe, room to grow, room to be. And I promise you, as one Black woman to another, you are never, ever, ever alone on this journey. We are all walking together, holding space for each other, lifting each other up, loving each other through every single step. So ladies, I want you to take a deep breath with me now. I want you to inhale all of the love, all of the power, and all of the grace that you deserve. And I want you to exhale the fear, the doubt, and those old stories that no longer serve you. Sister, you are more than enough. You are worthy beyond measure. You are a radiant light in this world. So I want each and every one of you to keep shining, keep healing, and keep loving yourself fiercely. And when the world tries to dim your glow, I want you to remember this truth. Your light is necessary. Your voice is needed. Your freedom is non-negotiable. Ladies, I love you. I see you. I stand with you. And I am so proud of the beautiful woman you are becoming right here, right now. You guys ever notice, as Black women especially, how we have to say, I'm good, even when everything inside of us is screaming, I'm not okay? It's like we laugh when we want to cry. We show up when we're breaking down. We are constantly pouring and pouring, and we wonder why we are constantly feeling so empty. And deep down, it's not because we can't feel. It's because somewhere along the line, we were taught not to. Some of us were raised in homes where emotions were seen as a luxury that we simply could not afford, where crying made you weak, where anger made you disrespectful, and where joy was something that you had to earn. And so over the years, we've become masters of wearing the mask, right? We are experts at smiling through grief, joking through trauma, functioning through burnout, because being seen as too emotional felt dangerous. Whether in the workplace, in the classroom, even at church, right? Because being too anything, too sad, too loud, too angry, too sensitive, that meant that you risked being labeled or dismissed or even erased. Welcome in, D. And the wild part of this is that we began to internalize this. We started asking permission, not out loud, but deep inside of ourselves, right? We had to ask ourselves permission. Can I cry right now? Is it okay that I'm angry about this? Do I deserve to feel joy when so much around me is still broken? Will I still be loved if I fall apart a little bit? It's like we've been negotiating with our own humanity. And so that's what today's conversation is all about, right? Because this emotional suppression isn't just a habit. It is a wound. It is a wound that we have not healed over the years. One that's been passed down to us generation to generation, like a warning. But what if we're the generation that stops bleeding? What if the moment you stop asking yourself permission to heal or permission to feel, you begin to heal, right? What if healing means not just breaking the generational curses, but reclaiming generational softness? What if your full range of emotions, including your tears, your rage, your laughter, your light, what if it's not something that you're supposed to hide, but something holy that you're supposed to honor? I think the best place for us to start with this, welcome back, Kale, is to call out the conditioning that we've experienced, right? Let's just go ahead and talk about it. Because truth is, most of us didn't wake up one day and just decide to disconnect from our emotions. That disconnection, that numbness, that silence, it was taught to us, right? It was modeled. It was passed down like it was some sort of family recipe. Only instead of love and laughter, it was soaked in survival and silence. From the very beginning, we were taught how to make ourselves small to make other people comfortable. How to suppress our emotions in order to survive. And for many of us, again, especially Black women, we've learned that feeling wasn't safe. It's not safe for us to feel. In some households, it's not even allowed. It's not appropriate for us to feel. I want you to put a green heart in the chat if you've ever heard any of these phrases. Stop all that crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Go ahead, put a green heart in the chat. This is our self-care club version of put a finger down, right? So if you've heard that, put a green heart in the chat. What about what you mad for? You got a roof over your head. Go ahead and put a finger down, green heart in the chat. What about ain't nothing wrong with you, wipe them tears, right? Fix your face. You better calm down before they think you crazy. Anybody? I see some green hearts over here. Southside said, listen, we're going to paint this whole chat green. What about, we don't do all that emotional stuff in this house? I know that sounds familiar. And I catch myself saying this. I just told my niece last night, to fix her face. I tried to toughen her up. And then I remembered how I felt when it happened to me, and I felt bad. Yeah. Miss Sherry said we get labeled as that angry Black woman. And y'all, we have to understand that those weren't just casual phrases. Those were emotional shutdown commands. And those commands taught us that sometimes, that emotions were dangerous, or worse, useless, right? But we have to begin. Yeah, it'll be okay. Stop crying. That's another one, Cardi. But we have to begin to name the why, right? We've got to start to call it out. So that way we can recognize it. So we can stop this pattern. See, our mamas didn't always have space to hold our tears because nobody ever held theirs. Our grandmothers weren't allowed to be soft because they were too busy surviving. Our fathers were told that emotions were weakness and that real men stayed silent. Real men got to be strong, right? Welcome in, Butterfly. And so over the years, we learned to be stoic, not soft. To be strong, not sensitive. Hey, Oak. Thank you. Right? We learned to be independent, not intimate. To keep it moving, not sit and feel. Thank you, Oak. Over the years, you guys, we've become fluent in a language of emotional labor. Always caring for others, never asking for our own space. We became experts at pretending that we weren't hurt, pretending that we weren't lonely, pretending that we weren't tired. But underneath all of that pretending, we are grieving, right? We're grieving our childhood softness, grieving the parts of us that never got to be expressed. Thank you. Grieving the versions of ourselves that were punished for being fully human. And now we are carrying all of that into our adulthood. We are carrying that into our parenting, our friendships, our relationships, our workspaces. We are still emotionally guarded, still waiting for someone to give us permission to exhale, someone to grant us permission to breathe. Still stuck in the echo of these messages like, be a strong Black woman. Never let them see you sweat. You got to be twice as good just to be seen as enough, right? Even in healing spaces, even in spiritual spaces, we are told to rise above, to pray it away, or to choose joy before we've even named the hurt. That's emotional gaslighting. That's spiritual bypassing. And that's not freedom. Because real freedom is not the absence of emotion. Real freedom is the presence of permission to feel, to name it, to honor it, to release it. Welcome in, Rita. So if nobody told you, growing up, let me say this loud. Let me say this clear. You are allowed to feel. Your feelings are not an inconvenience. Your emotions, Chris, are not too much. Your humanity is not a burden. It is your birthright. And I want that to settle in. Madeline, welcome in, love. And so today I have a call to action for you. It is time that we unlearn, heal, and reclaim. So now that we've named the conditioning, right? We called it out. We see you. It's no longer hiding in the shadows, right? So all of those deep generational patterns that taught us to hide, to numb, to silence ourselves, it's time for something radical. It is time for us to begin to unlearn. And I'm not going to lie to you. Unlearning isn't easy, but healing rarely is. It's not going to be a quick fix or a one and done. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. It's like uprooting roots that have grown tangled through generations. But here's the truth. We cannot heal what we don't confront. And every time we suppress our emotions because that's the way it's always been, we're honoring trauma instead of freedom. Thank you. We're passing down wounds instead of wisdom. We are teaching the next generation to carry silence instead of a song. But what if right here, right now, became the break in that chain? What if it was time for us, time for you, time for me to stir things up a little? What if today we commit to questioning those old rules about emotions that no longer serve you? Saying no to shame and yes to softness. Letting your tears fall even when the world says, keep it all together. Choosing healing over hiding. Teaching yourself that those who come behind you, that it's safe to feel. This is revolutionary because unlearning is the birthplace of freedom. It's the sacred work of rewriting your story and healing the lineage. Thank you, guys. So this is your invitation to step into the healing work with courage and grace. And I want you to know it looks like seeking therapy and coaching that honors your cultural experience. It looks like journaling your truths, even the ones that scare you. It looks like setting boundaries that protect your emotional space. Practicing daily self-check-ins to identify and feel your emotions fully. Building community with people who see you and support your growth. Remember, healing is a process. It is not a destination. There will be days when you feel like you're moving forward and days when you feel like you're back at square one. And that's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up for yourself, that you keep choosing you. So today, I challenge you. Look at the emotional patterns that you inherited. Those things that you thought were just how we are. And I want you to begin to ask yourself, what do I need to unlearn? What trauma am I ready to heal? How can I give myself permission to rewrite my emotional legacy? Because when you do that, you're not just healing, you are changing the future. You are creating space for the next generation to feel freely, fully, and without apology. Again, that's legacy in the building. And when you start this journey, there's always going to be some sort of censorship, right? The world is quick to throw its hand over our mouth. And so let's tell the truth. Emotional censorship doesn't set you free. It keeps you stuck. And a lot of us are stuck in cycles that we don't even recognize because we've spent years, decades even, right? Suppressing, numbing, and silencing parts of ourselves that were too loud, too sad, too angry, too inconvenient for other people to handle. But what happens when you've swallowed so many emotions that you can't even taste your own truth anymore? What happens when you've held your breath for so long that breathing, and I mean really breathing, feels unfamiliar? Let me go ahead and break that down because the cost of emotional censorship is real. Mentally, the cost looks like anxiety from always bracing for the worst, depression disguised as just being tired all the time, overthinking every text, every conversation, every emotion because you were taught that your feelings were too much, questioning your intuition because you were taught not to trust your own emotional cues. And then physically, the cost starts to show up in your body, right? You experience tension in your shoulders from carrying the weight that was never yours. You get migraines from unspoken rage, stomach issues from grief that has sat too long, sleep problems because your nervous system never learned how to feel safe. It only learned how to stay alert. We say we're burnt out, but the real question is, what's burning inside of you that you haven't allowed to rise to the surface? Emotionally, the cost feels like feeling numb when you should feel joyful. Crying in secrecy because strong women don't fall apart, right? Feeling guilty for needing help, for wanting softness, for choosing yourself. And here's the thing. When you constantly suppress your emotions, right? When you don't just silence the pain, you are silencing your joy too. It's like you dull your own shine when you try to stay digestible for others. You learn to regulate your expression just to remain safe in the workplace, safe in relationships, hell, safe in our friendships. Relationally, it costs authentic connection. Because when you're not emotionally honest with yourself, you start attracting people who aren't emotionally honest with you either. You shrink, you tolerate, you explain your boundaries instead of holding them. You mistake emotional labor for love. You find yourself always giving, always pouring, always hoping that someone will finally see the version of you that you've hidden under all of that strength. And sis, that's not love. That's exhaustion with a pretty bow on it. Spiritually, the cost is even deeper. When you censor your emotions, you disconnect from the voice of your soul. Because emotions are messages. They are sacred. They are our spirit-given signals. But if you were taught to dismiss them, to ignore them, to override them, with positivity and that performative strength, then you're not just bypassing your feelings, but you are bypassing your divine guidance. God didn't give you a full emotional range just for you to mute it. We must begin to understand that your rage is holy. Your tears are anointed. Your softness is prophetic. And your healing doesn't require perfection. It requires permission. Here's what I know. Every time we silence ourselves, we write an emotional invoice that our future self will have to pay for. And eventually, the body keeps score. The heart keeps count. The soul starts whispering, you were never meant to live like this. So I want you to ask yourself, what is my silence costing me? What have I traded for other people's comfort? What parts of me are still begging to be felt? You cannot heal what you are afraid to feel. And you can't be emotionally free while still living emotionally filtered. It is time to let the mask slip. Let your feelings rise. Let your truth breathe. I want you to take up space and make room to feel it all. And so, what does it look like to actually give yourself room to feel it all? Not just easy emotions, but the ones that, not just the ones that are cute and calm and easy to explain. I'm talking about the whole truth. Nothing but the truth. The messy middle, the parts that don't make the Instagram stories, y'all. Let me say this plain. You are not created to live emotionally muted. You were not born to be palatable. You weren't born to be emotionally invisible. You were born to feel it all, fully, deeply, and without apology. We live in a world that tries to micromanage our emotions, especially as Black women. Right? Be strong, but not too strong. Be emotional, but only in a way that doesn't make other people uncomfortable. Be joyful, but not too loud. Be angry, but only if you smile while you explain it. The emotional labor just isn't, just to be seen and safe is so exhausting. But guess what? Healing begins when you stop editing yourself to be loved. You don't need to explain why you're crying. You don't have to smile when you are hurting. You don't have to shrink your joy just because someone else isn't ready to witness it. You are allowed to feel the fullness of your humanity without checking first if it's convenient for the people around you. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you let yourself be sad without rushing to fix it? When was the last time you gave yourself permission to be mad without guilt? Misunderstood, welcome in. When was the last time you laughed, danced, or screamed without worrying about who was watching. That's the kind of freedom we're moving toward. Unfiltered, uncensored, unapologetic. Because here's the truth that most of us never heard growing up. Your emotions are not the problem. It's the suppression that becomes the sickness. Suppressing your truth to protect other people doesn't keep you strong. It simply keeps you silent. And silence, when it comes to your emotional well-being, isn't peace. It's a slow erosion of your spirit. So today, I want you to know that you don't have to wait for a breakdown to deserve rest. You don't have to earn a moment of stillness. You don't need a crisis to justify your feelings. You don't need to justify your tears or your laughter. You can just feel right now, right here, in this breath, in this body, in this moment. And guess what? That's not weakness. It's not drama. It's not being too much. That's being free. This podcast today is your permission slip. Your permission to feel what you feel, to name it, to honor it, to breathe through it, to not judge your tears, to not edit your anger. Hey, Miss Ava. To not shrink your softness, to not rush your grief. You don't need permission from the world. You don't need approval from your past. You don't even need to make it look pretty. Thank you. All you need, Kaylee, is room. And that's why we're here. This space is sacred. This space is safe. Most importantly, this space is yours. You deserve room to feel it all. You deserve room to breathe. Let me tell y'all a quick story. I remember once I was in a session holding space for a client, and right in the middle of her breakthrough, I felt my own tears rising. Not sadness, just that emotion of finally being seen. But you know what I did? I swallowed it. Yeah, I swallowed it. I sat there like I was fine. And why? Because I told myself, you got to be professional. You got to hold it together. Because being strong felt like it was my job. But that moment taught me something. It taught me that being strong isn't about not feeling. It's about feeling fully and still choosing to show up. I learned that that's where the real strength lies. That was emotional freedom. So when my emotions show up, I let them. I don't suppress them anymore. Right? Because being strong isn't about not feeling. It's about feeling fully and still choosing to show up. Unapologetically. Guilt-free. Right? So how do we stop asking for permission to feel? How do we stop? Right? If you're listening now and you're like, I want to start healing from this emotional suppression, where do I begin? Where do I start? Number one, you must name it without shame. Name it without shame. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? This first step to emotional freedom is naming it. And when I say naming it, I mean without editing it. Not what you think you should feel, not what you wish you could feel, but what's actually there. Whether it's rage, disappointment, jealousy, grief, joy, pride, anxiety, whatever it is, you can't heal what you are scared to feel. So every morning or night, I want you to say out loud, I feel, and then fill in the blank. And if you don't have words, you can try something like body mapping, right? Ask yourself, what is my body trying to tell me right now? Then you say it, you write it, you honor it. Number 2, you have to sit with it before you solve it. See, we are so quick to want to fix the problem that we don't stop and analyze the problem. Hey, Ruffman, happy Juneteenth. I need for you to understand that you don't need to fix it right now. You just need to feel it. We're so conditioned to rush our feelings, to push through, to numb out, and to distract ourselves. But emotions are like waves. If you don't ride them, they'll crash into you later. So you could set a 5-minute timer, choose an emotion that you've been avoiding, sit still. Hey, Peach, happy Juneteenth. Breathe, right? Just sit still, breathe. Let the emotion rise. No fixing, just feeling. Let your body teach you that it's safe to feel and survive. This is self-trust in action. Number 3, I want you to write it. And when I say write it, I'm talking about I want you to write it raw and unfiltered. The words don't have to make sense to anyone but you. Journaling isn't about just processing, it's about permission. And when I say permission to be raw, messy, honest, and free. So try a 10-minute rage page, a joy page, a grief dump. And when you do this, there's no grammar, there's no structure, it is just soul. Okay? Let your pen speak what your mouth has been holding in. And when you're done, you can burn the page if you have to. You could cry on it, you could sing over it, but get it out of you. Healing happens in the release. So you have to get it out your head. You have to remove it. Number 4, I want you to create an emotionally safe space. Reminding yourself that you deserve to be witnessed, not just tolerated. And you can't fully feel in places that don't feel safe. So sometimes the issue isn't your emotions, it's your environment. I want you to ask yourself, who lets me feel freely? Where can I go and not perform? Who do I feel drained around and why? You have to begin to build a healing circle. Even if it's just one friend, therapist, your life coach, just one person who sees you, not your performance. Because your emotions deserve a safe landing place. So again, I need for you to create emotionally safe spaces. Number 5, let your body speak. Trust your body wisdom. Our bodies often feel what our mouth can't say. It shows up in our tight shoulders. That's hidden anger. Your stomach in knots, that's suppressed fear. Got a lump in your throat, that's words left unspoken. So let your body speak. You can use somatic tools, right? Shake your body for 1 minute. Lay on the floor and do some deep belly breathing. Or stretch your heart open, right? Arms wide, and hum in low vibrations. You don't have to figure it out first. Just let your body release it. Feeling is a full body experience. So let your body be part of your healing. Number 6, speak your emotional truth in real time. Speak your emotional truth in real time. You are allowed to express your needs. And I know that so many of us were taught to wait for the right time to speak up, but holding it in doesn't make you strong. It just makes you resentful. And the best way to do this is to shift the language that you speak, right? Start with I feel or I need statements. I feel overwhelmed and I need 10 minutes for myself. I feel hurt and I need to pause this conversation. I feel unseen and I need some affirmation. Right? So if you start things with I feel and speak your truth, and then in that same sentence, tell them what you need. I feel disrespected and I need some space. Right? You are not too much for having needs. You are enough to be heard and held. And your feelings are not an inconvenience. They are information. And you have to use them. Number 7, practice emotional affirmations daily. Words have power, you guys. And our emotions are sacred, not shameful. So, you can start rewiring your relationship with your emotions. And we do that through repetition, through softness, through self-compassion. So create your daily affirmations, things that you say over and over again in your mirror, in your journal, while you're doing your makeup, right? Tell yourself things like, I give myself permission to feel fully. It is safe for me to be soft, strong, and everything in between. I trust my emotional wisdom. I am allowed to take up space even when I'm not okay. I don't need to earn rest. I don't need to apologize for my tears. Thank you, Whitney. Hey, love. Let your healing voice be louder than your old programming. This healing journey is not about getting over your emotions. It's about unlearning. It's about learning how to be with them, to breathe through them, and to move forward without abandoning yourself. Thank you, Whitney. Because emotional freedom doesn't mean that you'll never cry again. It means that you'll never shame yourself for crying again. Let me say this loud. And I'm speaking to everyone, but specifically to every Black woman. I want you to hear me. No matter where you are, no matter who you're with, no matter what you're facing right now, I want you to know that you are magic. You are the dream and the prayer of every ancestor who fought, who loved, who survived, so that you can stand here today in your full, glorious power. You carry in your DNA the strength of queens and warriors. You embody grace in the face of struggle. You move through this world with a rhythm uniquely yours, sometimes soft, sometimes fierce, but always unapologetic. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. We've been told to silence our stories, to dim our light, to shrink ourselves to fit in spaces and places that were never made for us. But I want you to hear me when I say that our very existence is resistance. Your laughter is revolutionary. Your tears are sacred. Your anger is justified. Your joy is necessary. There's nothing too much about your melanin, your curls, your hips, your voice, or your spirit. There's nothing too much about how deeply you feel, how loudly you speak, or how boldly you love. You are the embodiment of resilience and beauty forged in fire. You are the healer and the fierce protector of your own soul. So hold your head up high, chest open, walk unapologetically in your truth. And I want you to take up space like you own it, because you do. You are legacy. You are love. And this world needs every single thing that you have to give, unfiltered, unashamed, and unstoppable. Hey, KP, thank you so much. Now, before we go, I want to leave you guys with this. I know that the world has taught you to armor up, to be strong, to be silent, to keep moving. But let me remind you that you are more than what you survive. Okay? You are not just here to function. You are here to feel. You are here to be seen, to exhale, to exist in full color, not grayscale. And yeah, I know it is scary to feel when you've been told that your emotions are too loud, too messy, too complicated. But I need for you to know that your softness, ladies, is not a threat. Your softness is your testimony. Your emotions are not liabilities. They're language. They're your soul's way of speaking. And your soul deserves to be heard. So today, right here, right now, I pray that you take that mask off. I pray that you make space for the tears that you've swallowed, the joy that you've postponed, the rage that you've tucked away, and the grief that you never got to name. And in that space, I pray that you find peace. I pray that you find clarity. Most importantly, I pray that you find you. You deserve emotional freedom that doesn't require you to shrink. Freedom that feels like breath, not pressure. Freedom that feels like coming home to yourself. Your healing homework for the week. This week, I want you to do one thing. I want you to let yourself feel without fixing. Okay? Feel without fixing. Don't rush the discomfort. Don't dress it up with productivity. Just be with it. Ask yourself, what am I feeling today? Where, in my body is it living? What would it look like if I honor these feelings instead of hiding from them? And whatever comes up, no matter what it is, I want you to breathe with it. Don't abandon yourself. Now, if this episode spoke to your spirit, I want you to go ahead and share it, right? Share it out there with someone else who is learning how to feel again. Head over to the YouTube, like, subscribe, share, right? And you know what? When you share it, you can tag us at the Self-Care Club. You can drop some green hearts in the comments now if you are reclaiming your emotions. Another key thing that you guys can do that I invite everyone to do is to visit theselfcareclub.org to grab your Self-Care Club merch, to tap into the free resources that we have there. There are a lot of healing resources, right? You can join our email list for our weekly wellness emails. You can even join our Self-Care Club community there. We're in this together, you guys. I don't have it all figured out, but together we are figuring it out. And if you're somebody who's like, oh, I need more, right? I need to get through this work day. Listen, I even got music for you, right? So if you're looking for healing through your headphones, check out the Room2Breathe music catalog. It's some soul medicine, but in sonic form. Fitting for today, I thought I would share one of our unreleased songs that is so on the topic of today, specifically being because it's Juneteenth. So I wanted to share this song that will be on the upcoming album. Some of you may have already heard this before, but this song is called I Am a Black Woman. This is something else that is out of my journals. It is one of my poems that I decided that I wanted to share on my unapologetic journey. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. Again, this song is called I Am a Black Woman. And it's just me speaking my truth, y'all. So check it out.
I am not your stereotyper, not your mammy, not your mule, not your muse. I'm the dream my ancestors whispered about, walking wild and free in shoes they weren't allowed to choose. I'm the hush before the storm and the thunder after it speaks, a symphony of survival wrapped in cocoa skin and gold streaks. You see me smile, but you ain't seen the war I won, just to wake up, just to show up, just to be under the sun. I am a black woman. Not just strong because I have to be, but divine because I was born to be. Sacred like Sunday dinners and tea tree oil on fresh corn rolls. Auntie wisdom with the side of don't play with me in my tone. I hold galaxies in my gaze, raise revolutions in my walk, speak legacy in lullabies and pour healing in my talk. I'm the prayer Grandma said when her knees touch the floor, the answer Mama carried while locked behind closed doors. I've been too much and not enough in the same damn day, but still I rise in my softness, still I slay. I am a black woman. Nah, don't box me in. I ain't your quota, your token or your monolith. I'm every poem Maya didn't get to finish. Like my girl Beyonce said, every damn day I woke up like this. I'm the rhythm in the protest chant. I'm the truth your hope will vanish. See, I bleed stories that the world constantly tries to ignore, but I keep writing them in my stretch marks, my laughter, my roar. I'm the silence turned sermon, the pain turned purpose, the girl who turned a why me into watch me. So trust me when I say I am not here to shrink, I am here to shine, to shed, to shift. Being a black woman means Wearing the weight of the world with grace in my spine, protecting peace that's constantly threatened, still choosing joy like it's mine, cause it is. It's Sunday wash days and black girl magic spells. It's you good text and soul deep wells. It's crying in silence cause the world won't understand, but laughing louder so it don't take your hands. It's knowing your worth when the world keeps changing the price. Still choosing softness, still choosing light. I am a black woman. So if you see me, don't just see the strength, see the softness I fight to keep. See the fire I learned not to fear. See the healing that didn't come cheap. See the daughter, the mother, the sister, the sage. See the black woman, unapologetic in every phase. I'm a black woman, and I am not your stereotype, not your secret, not your savior, not your scapegoat. I am not what you project. I am someone to protect my joy, my mind, my legacy, my rest. I am softness wrapped in armor, a lullaby with a backbone, the calm and the storm, the hush and the roar. I am healing in motion, a revolution in stillness. I am divine by design, no permission, just purpose, just presence, just power, because I am a black woman. And that is a whole sermon, a whole song, a whole story, still being written, but never erased.
Tell them, y'all, I am a black woman.
I am a black woman.
Thank you, Peach. Thank you so much, Peach. And listen, my final message to everyone, don't be afraid to take up space, you guys. Okay? Don't be afraid to cry, to rest, to feel, to rage, to laugh out loud. Your feelings don't need to be explained to be valid. Okay? Your truth doesn't need permission to be told. So, from me to you, with so much love, I want you to keep breathing. I want you to stay positive, and I want you, most importantly, to remember that you will always be supported here at the Self-Care Club. So don't be afraid to take up space and make a little room for you to breathe. I love each and every one of you to life. I pray that you have an amazing day on purpose, filled with purpose. And until next time, breathe deep, feel freely, and heal loudly. Peace, love, and wholeness to you all. Thank you.